And I'm glad you mentioned cyberseek.org, which we're going to put that in the show notes too, because this chart is helpful because it kind of gives you that beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert layout. But because it doesn't tie to job title, I want you to go over to cyberseek.org. I want you to find the title for the job you want, and I want you to use the reference material in there to really narrow down on exactly which certifications employers are requesting, because that's one of the things that I love about CyberSeek is they're actually going out, they're actually dumping all of the job postings, and that's where they're really getting their data from. And you know what? If there is a Bible, if there are gospels as far as what certifications you should get, it's job postings more than anything else. Yeah. More than when your buddy says, well, don't get that cert. That's too trashy. Get this other one because it's much better. Okay, so I don't go get certified ethical hacker. Instead, I go off and I get
Pentest Plus or OSCP. Yeah.
Sure. Right. So now I'm kind of all set up as far as my buddy is concerned. Right. So now he thinks I'm cool because I got the right cert. But what if that was the total wrong cert to get a job? That's not good. I mean, okay, it's nice that your buddy loves you, but he's probably not going to cut you a paycheck every 2 weeks. So, keep this in mind.
The other thing I would say is, as you're looking at which cert do I get, and we did talk about this back in episode 55, which certification should I get? So if you haven't listened to that, I definitely recommend going back, yourcyberpath.com/55, and we'll link to that in the show notes as well. But when you're looking at this and somebody says, hey, are you going to get XYZ certification? Well, maybe. Let's see if it comes up on one of these lists, right? So for instance, I'll give you an example. There's a certification called the Digital Forensic Examiner, DFE, and I have this certification. And I will tell you that 99% of the people out there probably don't even know what a DFE is, right? It is a very specialized niche certification that you had to have if you were a DoD contractor or DoD employee working in forensics doing a certain level job. And so I got it because of that. But if I had to pay a lot of money to go get that out of pocket because somebody said, hey, I think DFE is cool, you should go get it. If I go look at that, I'm going to find out that it doesn't show up on this chart. I'm looking at the CompTIA one and I don't see it there. I'm looking at the other one that you had brought over from Paul Jeremy, and I don't think I see DFE there either on their 400 and something different certifications that they've listed here. So I'm not seeing it there, right? So instead I might want to go get something like FTK certified or one of the others. So some of the benefits of using these type of charts is that you can see what are other organizations saying is important. And as you pointed out when we talked about the CompTIA chart, the CompTIA roadmap doesn't specify it only CompTIA stuff. It has other stuff there as well,
right?
Even though they have things that compete with them. So for instance, CompTIA has Linux Plus, and I will tell you, I know a lot about Linux Plus because I'm currently filming my Linux Plus course that is going to be coming out in July.
Yes,
so yeah, so I like Linux Plus. That said, I'm also an authorized platinum partner with LPI, which is Linux Professional Institute, and they teach Linux Essentials. And if you look here on the chart under Network and Cloud, Linux Essentials shows up under Beginning and Novice. Intermediate has LPIC 1, which is Linux Professional Institute certification 1, and there's level 2 and level 3 as you go to advanced and expert. And CompTIA put all of those in there, even though they also have Linux Plus, which competes with LPIC 1 and Linux Essentials because it's a replacement for those two. And so being able to know that, hey, if I get Linux Plus, that counts the same as these other two is important. Or do I want these other two instead of Linux Plus because that's what employers are looking at? And being able to check that as you're looking at job postings is going to help tell you which one you should get. But being able to look at a chart like this and understanding, I always think, if you think in 5-year increments, it really works well for your career. So you should say, okay, in 5 years, I want to have X position. To get X position, I need A, B, and C certifications. And so I'm going to do A this year, B next year, C in year 3, and you can plan yourself out. And sometimes there's that position you want in 5 years is 2 positions away. And so you might be working the help desk today, and you want to be a forensic examiner. Well, to get there, you're probably going to have to become a system administrator first. And then from a system administrator, you can become a forensic examiner. And so you might say, okay, over the next 5 years, within 2 years, I need to be a system administrator. And then I need to do that job for 2 or 3 years before I can become a forensic examiner. And I need to get these certs, and I need to get this degree. But by having that 5-year plan and working towards those things and checking those things off, you're going to very quickly go up in your career, which is going to give you higher pay, more promotions, more, more responsibility, all those great things that you want in a long-term career. And I've done this myself in my career. I've always looked not at the next job, but the job after that. And by
Yeah.
always looking 2 jobs ahead, you always are positioning yourself for the right place, and it helps you
Right.
advance so much quicker than if you
Yeah.
wait till you get the next promotion and then figure out where you want to go from there.
It's almost like you and I were in the military or something.
Yeah, I mean, the military is really good about having these like set career paths, and like,
Yep.
but if you, and in the military, because they are so stringent, if you miss doing something at a certain part of your career, it will screw you over 10 years from now. And you can't go back and fix that thing. If you forgot to do that thing as a young lieutenant, you can only do that thing as a young lieutenant. And so you can't go back and fix that after. And sometimes we, in the IT world or cybersecurity world, it's not necessarily that stringent, because you can always go back, but do you
Right.
really want to have to go back and take a pay cut or a backwards step to
Right.
hit that job you want? No, you want to be able to always move forward. And so by laying this stuff out, you can really plan for the best.